Yeah.
The barkeep looks somewhere behind and says, "I'll be right back, kid. Unless you need something right now."
And Tempest shakes his head and waves a hand, gesturing, no, no, he's good.
All right. He
As
walks
he
away.
looks quite deep in thought, leaning on the table, staring at the back of the bar.
Okay.
He's mumbling away to himself along the ideas. Okay. It's quite quietly, but just, okay. High elf. Doesn't like conversation. Doesn't get it. He's here probably because he believes he's better than everyone else. Should I play to that? Should I humor him? No, no, I need to get information from him. I can't just go over there and be squee. Do I approach him about business? What do I approach him about business about?
We also don't actually know where the brothel is.
You know.
We do? Okay.
You got directions to it whenever Manakai's character asked around. It doesn't have any windows. And there was a suggestion of walking around it, and I said, yeah, sure, go for it. And then proceeded to ridicule the idea.
Also, good night, Manakai, apparently.
He did comment he needs to go to bed.
Really.
Yeah.
Yep. Good night.
Okay. Bye, Manakai.
Oh. Like, it's just... I'm trying to carefully think how to approach this, because I know Grimith. I know Grimith has a good attitude set out for this character. This is meta-wise. Like, I'm having to tactfully think how to approach this situation and how to talk to this guy. And this is why in character Tempus is sitting staring at the bar and just slowly sipping his drink, with mulling over things, which obviously is what he's doing.
Sure.
Spill your drink on him and start flirting.
That would go down like a sack of diamond bricks.
Yep.
Ooh, I spilled my drink on you. What say we get out of these wet clothes?
I'm sure he knows something much more comforting than a Forgeborn.
But that said, I don't know.
It's just, there's a lot of things that I'm thinking. I can approach him to talk about specific comforts. That he runs a parlor for pleasures above and beyond those that are normal. I could approach him about business. I could approach him socially. That will not work, probably. Casual conversation will not work. As I said, that's the information I've been given. It's just very lock and gun.
You could ask about the fights.
Yeah, the fights might be another approach.
That's something I was wondering, if there was fights and Tempest could try and play that to make money, go for it.
I mean, that's an option, but that will sort of lead to the same thing as Thomas in Dragonhall, where I had to go in alone to their hideout. And, if we follow that to that extent. But might get you some information along the way. It might take a lot of time, though. But I don't know if you talk to him about fights or if you talk to the bartender about... Probably talk to the bartender.
The bartender, I would say.
I am really, really racking my brain to have thoughts on this. You know what? Prize fighters. Let's go and talk to them first, get an idea.
They don't exactly pay you that much mind. Still in the throes of conversation about the various individuals that they've fought over the years and the types of moves that they use.
And Tempest will just sort of turn over, and as he does so, he moves. He kind of shifts his body weight. So instead of him being faced and scrunched up here, he turns so he's facing upwards.
All right.
But leaning on his shoulder over here, so he kind of moved up a bit. So he's a bit closer to the conversation. And maybe he's heard something in regards to, oh, the winnings, and, I bet this one, and I got the bets, and da-da-da-da-da. I guess imagine some conversation similar to that. Especially if you're talking prize fighting, who they've beaten and what winnings they've claimed. Total guesswork. Right. Oh god, I'm actually sweating with the concentration here.
Go on.
Right. And Tempus will just saunter up, trying to at least make it obvious he's coming over to at least to ask a question. Look quite quizzical about it.
All right. Their conversations both do come to like a halt as you approach.
Did I hear right that you bested such a gent? What was it? An uppercut to the chin there that you mentioned?
Let's see here. Ethan, whom you've certainly heard both of their names because they've been talking to each other, says, "No, who does uppercuts these more? It's all about kicks to the side." And Bertio says, "Absolutely not! You apply pressure to the head that gets them knocked down." And then the two actually try to like go at it again, like with conversing with each other and ignoring you.
Tempest tries to, I guess, chime in a couple of times and realizes, no, there goes that idea. Tempest just, he'll just disappear off with them probably going at it a bit more furiously. And as he's walking over, he's taking the time, he fixes his hood and his jacket a little bit as he's walking.
Alright.
And he bites the bullet. He starts walking up a little bit closer to Arnold just to shift around, especially kind of looking over at the fighters. Tries to get a word in again and fails miserably. And Tempus comes up, and he comes up a sort of confident but respectful way. Not trying to be over dominant, he's trying to...
It almost seems like the tavern gets a little quieter as you actually approach the table of the High Elf.
Tempus will politely nod. He expects no response to it, just probably being looked at.
The High Elf is staring ahead at the wall, slowly chewing what appears to be beef, like lifting up a morsel that's been finely sliced and pressing it through his delicate, supple lips.
And Tempus won't rest his hands on any chair. He'll have them clasped behind his back. And say, apologies for interrupting. And I'm sure there's a very wonderful meal that you're having. I do have one question, and I will make it quick. I know your time is very valuable by the delicate meal you're having. I heard through the grapevine and through patrons, I'm sorry, this is meta-wise, I'm like trying to think carefully my words. I heard there may be fights, and there's a specific pleasure that I'm looking to satisfy, and would be quite interested in appealing to it in a rather expensive way.
The individual presses his fork down to his plate once more and rotates his head a bit of a fraction to look at you for the first time. His eyes so full of knowledge and intelligence and that smug satisfaction of his soul looking at you. Finely, kept hair like parting to reveal his face, his brows furrowing as he looks at you. And he says, "Yeah, sure, but we do it unarmed." And then he looks back at the wall again and picks up his fork. And
What?
he begins eating again. You okay, Gryph?
Realized I muted myself and asked a question, and I
Oh.
thought that you were role-playing the utter silence. So I said, any place and time, and just silence. And I'm thinking, shit, if he's really role-playing this,
Oh,
this is
that's
fucking
great, because I
awkward.
thought that you were role-playing, like, the awkwardness of that answer.
Okay, but yes, Tempus. Well, no, he didn't. He's trying to not look him in the eye again. He's trying to avoid any kind of threatening gesture. Respectful supplication, I guess, is what he's trying
Okay.
to go for. And simply says, gladly, any time and place.
The High Elf will, drop his fork again. And, he'll look over at Tempus and say, "You're in luck. There's going to be one. Oh, in about..." He, like, hazards a look out of the, one of the windows to the south. "No, not too long for now. Tonight. Yes. Probably about 5 or 6 hours." Rules specifically, I suppose I'll entertain them. Tempus. No weapons, no armor. Just your fists. Single combat. The bloodstains here. The servers can't quite get out. Tell the tale all too well.
Tempest will smile.
He doesn't.
Sounds good. I'll be there.
One more thing, Tempus. Your friends chose the other tavern, so they're not welcome. Make sure they understand that.
Tempest will nod.
Splendid.
And he'll take that. He won't ask any questions. He will just bow his head and just leave.
You you going back to the bar, or are you actually like gonna walk out?
He's going to the bar first to
Okay.
finish off his tab.
All right.
And when he's finished his tab, he will.
The barkeep will actually like walk up to you, and it sounds like commotion's picked up again, and he'll like lead in and say, "How about that, kid?"
Sometimes you just got to bite the steel.
He chuckles and says, "I don't know how you did it. Like, what'd you say to him?"
Kept it business. Kept it respectful. Kept it short and sweet. He seems like a guy that values his time quite well. Just follow the game by his rules.
He actually nods, and he looks like he's about to say something else, but then his head turns and his eyes slightly widen. "Oh, good to see you, good to see you. I haven't seen you in so long. Sit down, please." Tempus can rotate his head And sitting down at one of the stools, looking at the barkeep, is an incredibly swarthy, well-manicured man with a goatee and hard eyes. Hello, Aaron. It has been some time, yes. Yes, it has. And, Aaron will, extend a hand out. So good to see you, and in good health, too. How are you? At that moment, the swarthy man will say, "Oh," and then look over at you. I've been better.
Tempus will look him over and wonders if this is someone that he's ever met before.
Well, it would appear that, at least from all the information that you've had, and everything that you know, and what you encountered, that this is Vane Delacroix, the face of Death's Hand, an individual you saw die to poison in front of Leon, in that fight outside of their headquarters, some time ago. He appeals hale and hearty with his equipment.
Tempus will just look him over, realise this, tilt his head, and raise his glass and say, "To good health," as he sips his drink.
Vane will smile and will say, "To good health. Aaron, please." And Aaron will say, yes. And you'll scurry away to go make a drink.
Tempus will just sort of track the barkeep as it disappears over.
Yep. He's fucking standing there off in the corner, beginning to pull out the various concoctions that'll presumably make Vane's drink.
Then he turns himself back to the comfort position that he was sitting in. No, he's probably standing at the bar. It doesn't look like there's stools.
There are a few stools. Vane actually sat down on one.
Oh, okay. Well, Tempus probably was sitting on one because he was imagining to finish his drinks, rather. So
yeah.
It makes sense to sit.
Yeah.
Been quite some time since I've seen you last as well.
Hasn't been that long.
You look good.
I try.
You succeed. It's an interesting trick to pull. One I know quite a lot of people could learn from.
Here you are, Vane. Vane will actually reach onto his belt to pull out some coins, and Aaron will extend his hand no. Please, it's good to see you again. Don't. Vane will smile a charismatic, a magnetic smile, and Aaron will politely smile in return, and Vane says, "Go on, you have the rest of the tavern to keep up with. We'll catch up later." "Oh, yep, sure. And Aaron will scurry away. Vane will look back at Tempus and say, "So, gotta run?"
Got a few people I need to talk to.
Thought you might.
I feel that we left at an interesting moment.
Shrugs.
Tempus finishes his drink and rests it quite calmly on the bar. Unfurls his coat and gets up to stand up from it. He's not making any offensive gestures, he's not touching his weapon, he's not revealing his jacket to show off weapons and what he's prepared to do. He's not doing anything threatening.
Sure.
Just stands up, dusts himself off.
Vane politely sips his beverage and says, "I had thought not to see you again. I wouldn't count on us meeting once more."
I imagine if we do, it may get interesting. But, regardless, it's good to see you.
To good health, Tempus Malleator.
Tempus just stops and looks around. People really do get pleasure in saying my name, don't they? A pleasure. He makes the attempt not to say his name back as he continues walking on.
Sure. Aaron will politely wave and at you as you walk away and say, "Come back again."
A pleasure. Look forward to it. And he sort of opens the doors and walks out into the...
And watch out for the other tavern.
I'll not go into it or get bothered by it, don't worry.
All
He
right.
closes the doors behind him.
Okay. Tempus has left the winch and chain. Where does he wish to go now?
Well, first off, Tempus is not going into the Harlequin's flask.
That's
I
good.
will emphasize that. He might go near to it and wait till his colleagues come out of the building to talk to them.
I mean, if you inconspicuously pass the Harlequin's flask, then I'm sure that one of the three of us is going to look outside and
Sure.
notice you conveniently.
That's fair. It's also worth noting that you do actually, Tempus, have a number of stairs directed your way. Perhaps this Tavern Allegiance thing goes a bit further than what you realized, what they initially told you. You know, you have stairs of support for having chosen the right tavern. And you
And
meet
then
up with
stairs
Leon, of
of-
course, who didn't choose a goddamn thing.
And also stares of disgust for having chosen the wrong tavern. Also, my dog is complaining about not being able to get through a door. I'll be right back.
And about choosing the wrong tavern, that's the dog's complaining about.
Yeah, it's the dog. It's very complaining.
Well, the map is, the winch and chain's all black again. Good thing we're done. There.
Let's rush it.
I genuinely did not expect that to work.
That's what I thought your super silence was for, not you being muted. I thought you were just like, what?
No, but at least you got the humor out of both sides. Like, for me, I thought you were role-playing the fact he does not give a shit about me. He's just saying, there will be a fight. Nothing more. That's all he's giving me.
You know, it's a good thing that got cleared up, otherwise the rest of this session would have been utter silence.
Really selling that awkwardness. Okay. Tempus leaves, walks presumably out of the neighborhood, and surely there would be jeers from the tavern of the Harlequin's Flask, because gossip would have gotten through that Tempus Malleator, he chose the winch and chain. Boo, hiss. Boo.
Oh god. This is not gonna end well, is it?
This is Tempest just won't get
You're like
it.
you guys are, this party's like star-crossed lovers now, because you have individuals in both tavern factions.
So I guess we leave and...
We wait 10-20 minutes, and then we leave and coincidentally head into the same direction out of Little Dragon Hall.
Yes. And then meet up at the previously predetermined, like, meeting
Of
location.
course, yeah, we are smart people, alright?
That's right, several city blocks away. Alright, you can do just that.
Alright. So how did it go?
We can
Better
hear
than
you
ex-
typing, Dark. I mean, you might as well speak in that case.
No, that was me. That was
Okay.
me.
Okay.
It went better than expected, if I'm quite honest. He's a challenging person to come up and approach, and, well, let's just say it seems quite rare when people go up and talk to him, because that that tavern got real quiet real quick the closer I got to him. And
You
he,
said
he pauses for a moment and bites one of his nails, and then pulls it off again and looks at it. One of the things as well is side information. Two of the adventurers in there were affiliated with the Dwarf King, and well, you guys know him, not really, in the good books. Far too well equipped, dwarven style, and fit for humans. They must be good affiliations for that kind of gear. Another thing, had the conversation with Mr. Pompous. He's having a fight tonight. Bare fist, no armor. And he raises three fingers pointing towards Dwohurim, Aurelia, and Geráck, and saying, you three aren't welcome.
Well, that we already know.
However, and he points a finger at Leon, you are. And I may have got myself into a fist fight without armor, without weapons, potentially to the death.
I'd much rather you didn't.
It is a problem that we have chosen the wrong tavern to go to first, then I would have no problems with such arrangements. I may be able to teach you some tricks, however.
I wouldn't call the other tavern the wrong tavern. It gave us the information in the first place.
Perhaps.
Well, at least Tempus will be with you.
Perhaps it was not the wrong choice, but that is yet to be seen.
Alright.
Well, there was one additional thing. So, Mr. Vane's still alive?
Yes.
Oh, you already knew. Good.
Didn't we tell you?
Oh, he wandered into the bar and he seemed to be quite well known by everyone in there.
Is he
Or
still there?
a few people. Probably not. He did mention that it's unlikely we'll see again.
So we'll probably leave town then.
Wouldn't be surprised.
He might go to the docks to the ship we repositioned.
That he might as well. I think we should check that actually.
Furious typing.
Well, we can try and chase him down, find the source of where he's going. It's all of that, but from the time from when I left that bar to here, he could have gone anywhere.
If we couldn't find him before, we're unlikely to just be able to find him now.
We do, however, know that he is, or at least was, in the area until very recently. Although he most likely suspects that we will try to trail him and has taken precautions.
Yes.
Still, if we do not look for him, then we will not find him. If we do look for him, we might get lucky.
Also, before he didn't know that we know that he lived. Now he does.
That is true.
And so it's not as safe anymore for him in this town. And so he might decide to leave. That's at least what I would do. Unless there's something holding him back here.
Excuse me.
I mean, I don't think we have anything else important to do right now. Any other ideas? Looking to the rest of the party?
I think we exhausted most things that we wanted to do. But there's nothing really... There's no downside to quickly running to the docks and seeing if we can't stop him from leaving via boat. I mean, the docks are a big place, but we know where Nathan's ship was, and that might probably likely be the one that Nathan would have taken, that Vane would have taken.
Yes.
Assuming he's attempting to leave by boat. Yes.
It is very
It would
likely.
be the most convenient. Yes.
Where does he want to go otherwise? Foghaven? East?
And people are easier to see. It's easier to see you if you leave through the gates. Leaving by ship, however, you're not that easily spotted.
Tempus would recall that Vane did have at least a small pouch of money on him that he attempted to pay for his drink with.
Yep, that will be shared.
He has money. Okay.
that means he got it from somewhere.
Because it's entirely possible that even if he could, for all we know, he might not be leaving, instead just being, cooped up with some noble or something somewhere.
Of course.
Probably has favor with someone, right?
Of course. But there's no point in not checking the docks, since we have